That sounds like a good idea.
Okay, I think I did it. It says going live.
Going live sounds like a good thing. I'll tell you if it happens over here.
How's it looking?
It's looking the same, but I believe there is like a 10, 20-second delay.
It says
there
live
we go.
9. Okay, are we there? Yeah, I think I did it.
We did. I've now muted my YouTube. We are live on YouTube.
All right, okay, here we go. Are you guys ready?
I am. We have a very large Steph in the middle as well.
Oh, that's probably me. Hold on. I will.
Not that I mind. Hello, Steph. But
speaker view. Okay, here we go. Welcome to the Alexxcast Arnemancy Halloween Showdown live stream, where we will talk about Halloween stuff and stuff. Hi, Alex.
Hi. Are we gonna fight to the death at some point?
I think that is on the docket.
Okay.
But you know, it's gonna be tough because obviously I'm an Umbreon.
Yes, and I take umbrage at things often. Look, we were a couple's costume.
All right, cool. Well, this took us a little while to figure out, but we finally got there. And thank you to all of our hundreds of thousands of viewers for,
being elsewhere,
being this patient. But we do have like some special guests showing up tonight, and it's Halloween, so hopefully we'll tell some tales of Halloween and stuff of that nature. And for those of you who are out there watching, if you're on the YouTube live stream, you can totally ask us questions. Oh, and we had a question, didn't we, Alex? Didn't somebody already send us a question?
We did. There's a lot of things that I could be saying right now as I desperately open up my Google Keep folder I should have opened up earlier. And now that I've seamlessly transitioned, Liminal Bird asked us about being Dune heads and if we're familiar with the idea of the Quetzalcoatl being surprised by the Kefitza Ha-Derak shortening of the way, a miraculously speedy way of travel between distant lands.
Yeah, so last year when I started up this podcast, you were my first guest, I think, or my second guest, and you kind of surprised me. You were like, we're gonna talk about Dune, and you brought like Dune trading cards and Dune bubblegum, and like, so neither of us really prepared to talk about Dune. We just talked about it. And Dune is one of those, I love the Dune series. I've read the entire series, the entire Frank Herbert run.
Yeah, the real
probably two or three times, but it's been ages. So it was a question of like, how much did I remember? And it's oddly enough, one of the episodes that I've gotten the most comments about, but they've all been from like really big Dune nerds who have said things like, next time you guys get, I think the one that kind of hurt me the most is like, the next time you guys are going to talk about something on the podcast, make sure you're prepared.
That guy also said we pronounced something wrong, and I still want to know what that was.
I wonder, who decides how Dune stuff is pronounced? Is there a dictionary out there somewhere?
Well, there are interviews with Frank Herbert. I actually just listened to one that somebody took the time to go through and run like audio processing on and cleaned it all up, and it sounds beautiful now of Frank Herbert talking.
My guess is we probably mispronounced Bene Gesserit.
That's possible, because I think I say Jesuit.
I don't know how it's supposed to be.
Well, here's the thing, is I've never claimed to pronounce anything properly.
Me neither.
It's not my job. Like, I say dumb things into microphones. In fact, pronouncing things goes against my remit.
Yeah, I don't want to make you do things that you're uncomfortable with.
You sure you're not too afraid of the pumpkin?
I think the pumpkin looks great. I think it looks way better. I've got like a sign on the wall that says Erik cooks pretty good dinner. Okay, now that's scary. So the Quetzalcoatl.
Yes. Shortening of the way.
Yeah. So Ha-Derak does mean the road or the way. And then I don't know the other word, but there is this sort of legend. There's a lot of like rabbi stories where like rabbis with magic Kabbalistic powers are able to travel very quickly from place to place. It's a common superpower that wizards used to have in the old days, that magicians would summon demons that would help them move from place to place. I honestly don't know a whole lot about Judaism and Frank Herbert. He did have the Jews show up as a whole culture in one of the later books of his, like Chapter House Dune or something of that nature.
I think that was, didn't at the end he kind of said that the Bene Gesserit are direct, like matrilineal lineage to Jews. That's like where the whole thing started.
Yeah, I think he might have said something like that,
I
which
think
would
it
make
was in
sense.
one of those
Like,
later
maybe
books.
that's where they got their secret. Maybe that's where they got that name. Oh, I just got a notice from one of our special guests that she won't be able to make it because her internet crapped out. She said she put on lipstick and everything.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't get to see the lipstick. We have a question on YouTube, just really quick. Why doesn't Alex have on a costume? I do. I'm dressed like a doughy middle-aged podcaster. So there's that. I do have my shirt has a picture of Alf as Baphomet, and it says
I feel like that's a costume.
Baphomet.
I mean, at least Alf is wearing a costume.
So here I will tell you the story of me not having a costume.
Okay.
So I work at a print shop, and I got this. I went through Eric's Facebook feed like a creep, and found just a perfect headshot of Erik that I've got all sized out and ready on perfect stock to print out. That I was going to cut out and wear an Erik mask for the feed, but work got like smokingly busy on Friday. Didn't have time, so I failed. I failed you all. I failed the city. I failed Green Arrow quoting, and I failed Eric Arneson. And I'm sorry. Way to make me feel bad, Tony Gilbert.
There was a time, years and years and years ago, I went to a Halloween party, and a friend of mine showed up dressed as me.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just iconic. Maybe I'm a style icon.
Yeah.
I mean, how many other Umbreons with mustaches have you seen?
I spent a lot of time in some weird websites, so you don't really want to know the answer to that.
I was going to have a one of our special guests was going to come on and talk a little bit about the history of Halloween. But I haven't done any research on the history of Halloween. Do you know anything about the history of Halloween? Can we make it up?
Yeah. 12 years ago, Satoshi Nakamoto put out what they call the Bitcoin white paper. That was 12 years ago on the 31st. And it's the anniversary. And that's the story of Halloween.
Oh, so that's how Halloween happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No,
that's
I
funny.
only... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I remember dressing up and going trick-or-treating as a kid. So is that some sort of like time dilation thing? Or...
Yeah, that's how Bitcoin works.
Okay. Yeah,
that's
Bitcoin is pretty confusing.
The only thing I really know about Halloween is kind of the pop culture stuff. Kind of, so it's All Hallows Eve. The Hallows comes, I think it was overwritten the pagan one. It's that same thing every holiday. Pagans did cool shit. Hey, it's spooky times. The veil is thin, even though historians say that's not true. And then the Catholics said, cool holiday, bro. Let's put one the day before. Hate to get our holiday on top of yours.
Well, in the Catholic Church, they've got Halloween, which is All Hallows Eve. That's tonight. And then they've got All Saints Day tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then the second is All Souls Day. And then the third is Election Day. And then the fourth is Hangover Day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Or put out the fires from Election Day.
Put out the fires from Election Day.
Given this season.
Quell the rioting. Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that we were going to do, I got these little fireballs from a friend. And so I was like, Alex, here, take this and we'll drink it on the live cast. And then Alex told me he can't drink fireballs right now. So I'm going to drink this for you, Alex, and for podcasters everywhere who are, for all the people everywhere who don't get to go to Halloween parties this year.
Yeah.
These fireballs are so awful. I've discovered these are really good in hot chocolate.
I don't mind Fireball. I think it's kind of delicious. I'm not drinking booze at the moment. Yeah, not in some like creepy square way. Like I'm still cool. Don't think I'm not cool.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. So I'm looking at our list of people here, and we do have some exciting guests. I'm wondering if any of our exciting guests are ready to be if they want to like ask questions or be on the live stream and say exciting things, show off their costumes. Like Steph.
I'm not wearing a costume.
What a square.
Am I the only one that wore a costume? Is that what this is? This is
No, I love Halloween because we were out doing errands earlier, and my style of dress is kind of, I guess, a little unusual, maybe, or unique. So I always get all these people looking at me trying to decide, is she dressed up or is she? But so it's always kind of fun. But I was interested that you were talking about the traveling quickly from place to place, because I had a friend in college when I was in my 20s, and she was interested in weird stuff. We were studying art practice and art history, but I think she'd read Alexandra David Neal, and there's a couple of things. There's supposed to be like a city, which is weird because I had this dream about being able to do this from the time I was small, but it's I think they call it like the long stride in Tibet, where monks or people that have been meditating a lot have got this special power, can just go for hours with this like really elongated stride, like through mountains, and get to places very quickly. So it's a similar thing again there of having these kind of supernatural means or special means of traveling long distances. But the weird thing that my friend was telling me about is, of course, Tibet is very mountainous. They just have those little creepy paths and roads. It's very difficult to get places. Severe weather as well. So she said that they were saying back in the old days, of course, you wouldn't have a body, you'd want to cremate it. But if it was like during winter or something, it was very difficult to move these bodies. So they would kind of let them get frozen. But then they get like these special sorcerers that would come, and they get like a line of corpses, and everyone would, run inside, and it was kind of like Lady Godiva, right? You close everything up and don't peek out while this is happening.
I really want this story to end in corpse toboggan.
Oh, even better, I would say, than corpse toboggan. Because what they would do is they would meditate and get this kind of energy going and get this line of corpses, and you'd have like the sorcerers on either end, and they'd make them hop.
They'd make them hop?
Yes, hop upright down these, mountain paths and trails and roads to get them out of town to wherever they could be cremated or disposed of. So, but I thought that was a real creepy image of everyone hiding in the house, and then these sorcerers kind of cracking the energetic whip on these poor dead people.
Blavatsky talks about that. She claims to have been able to pogo across the mountains.
Who's this?
Helena Blavatsky.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One of her books, she talks about being able to spiritually pogo through the mountains, and she learned it in some secret temple that coincidentally, hey, no one could find in Tibet. It's almost like she's a complete fraud. But
the thing that I find really interesting about the like the long striding stuff that you're talking about, Steph, is that these, the idea of practitioners, whether they're like Buddhist monks or I mean, it's Tibetan monks or rabbis or, demon summoning magicians, like this idea of this fast travel or being able to be in two places at once or being able to like get from one place to another really, really quickly it shows up across multiple cultures. And I don't see any modern day practitioners ever having a claim on this. Like nobody's ever saying like, oh yeah, I've got this magic demon and now I can get from, Portland to Seattle in just 2 hours. Because I guess we've got like Amtrak and cars and stuff now. So
yeah, we got buses and shit. We don't need to sell our soul to get to Seattle.
Do you think maybe there was some sort of, I don't know, what? So where would the legend have come from, and why would it have cropped up all over the place? Were there just people who were good at shortcuts, people who had maps before anybody else had maps? Like, I wonder how that worked.
It's funny because Colin Wilson in his book, I think it's in Poltergeist, with the exclamation point at the end, he talks about there's some island in the South Seas, and it's a similar type of situation where if they wanted to communicate with someone who was like on the other side of the island, they would like kind of build this hut out of wood and reeds and stuff and go in there and do like special chanting and meditation and everything, and then they'd be able to kind of make that connection of consciousness and tune in and have the conversation, get information. And he saw it happen one time where he was informed of a death that he didn't find out had occurred until later, the classic situation. But I guess this one guy was telling him that they used to do it a lot more. And then he was saying, well, why don't you do it so much anymore? He's like, well, now we have like radios and telephones and stuff like that. So we don't have to go. It's like a lot easier.
That's funny because there's a legend in Freemasonry. Like it's, I think the latest I really saw it sort of mentioned was probably in 1550 or 1750 or something like that, where it was talking about how ancient Freemasons had this magical ability to communicate at a distance without using words or something like that. So there's another kind of weird superpower that showed up a lot, but now, we've got telephones. It makes you wonder, like, what other is magic? Are magic powers just becoming more and more superfluous as we commoditize technology? Are we killing magic?
Yes. Short answer, yes.
Like,
Well,
yes, we're stabbing it right now.
I blame the internet.
Although I have to say, I have been involved with, different, like spiritual groups, that have, like a big meditation teacher, things like that. Here in Northern California, let's say in Marin or Berkeley, there's a lot of that going on. But you still find a lot of people that will have will get visions of their teacher. I was talking with someone, Chris Ernst, about this recently regarding Mayor Baba, and you still get a lot of people that have like a big visionary experience of their teacher, or even see, I saw them physically and got like this mystical awareness or mystical download happening. He appeared in my room. I saw them. When that for example, when he was living, that that he was elsewhere, and this still props up a lot with spiritual teachers. So
yeah, but of course now we've got Zoom.
Yes, but if you can't, have a Zoom with your teacher, and it's funny because this actually happened to a number of people that I knew when I was meditating with them, with Leslie Temple Thurston, and we would be going and sitting with her for a couple of days once a month during this time period, a couple of years, but people would still see her and have these visionary experiences. So I think there's something about a particular type of a relationship too, where this can facilitate this type of thing happening. But like you say, then there's these other things like strict bilocation or fast travel that's just kind of ridiculous, and I think it takes a lot of energy that could maybe be better spent.
So bilocation, we still don't have a way to like duplicate that, but that's, I think, the superpower that I think would be most fascinating. Like, how do you do that? If you're bilocating, are you conscious in both places? Is one of you just an illusion? What's that all about? Do both of you have to do the same things at the same time, or can you bilocate and have like a conversation with two different people at once?
Well, I think what happens is
brain?
the one that gets left on the space station eventually goes by Tom Riker, and he goes back on the fast track to try to become a captain of a ship. And then William T. Riker, he stays, and then later Tom Riker will show up in non-TNG. Like at one point,
yeah, he was on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, he was on Deep Space Nine. So I think that's the answer to your question. I thought about this a lot because when I was young, I was obsessed with astral travel. Like that's all I thought about for like a year. I was like, I'm fucking obsessed. And the girl I was going out with at the time swears up and down that she could see me when it happened. And she was just batshit. She was dating me. So you can just kind of, let's make assumptions on the type of person that was. But she swore up and down that she could see me when I was making attempts at this. And I think that's kind of something along those lines, like that kind of bifurcated self, bilocation is
astral travel.
Is it something like that? Or like kind of, I hate because everybody says tulpa is everything, but like if you send enough energy in one direction, I think it's kind of like a conscious projection on someone else that they're picking up on instead of an actual like. So to answer in heavy fucking quote marks, I get to do it, heavy quote marks, is, yeah, you can know what the other one's doing, but I think it's like a really limited kind of thing. Or
Okay.
people in the past sucked at knowing what day it was because it was the past and everybody basically ate mud and died real easy.
And
And
also they didn't have Google Calendar.
yeah, so it was probably like, I swear I saw you on Tuesday. You're like, I was in the Alps on Tuesday. And instead of going, oh, I must have the day wrong, they went, holy shit, he has powers. Let's worship and/or kill him.
I guess that's probably just as likely. And I mean, that could be, so like the Kwisatz Haderach thing. I guess we're looping all the way back around. We haven't finished answering this question yet. Because in Dune, the people who make the way shorter and can go real fast are the guild navigators.
Well,
Who
I
are
took
just
that.
like huffing melange all the time. And
Well, I took that as like the shortening the way of spiritual growth of humanity, because the later books details that the whole point of the Kwisatz Haderach is to, and this is where it gets a little lame, but great thought is the removal of rape from the men. Is that to balance the kind of violent force in humanity? So the
Oh.
shortening of the way would be the shortening of the way from man's kind of bestial nature at the time of, say, Paul, to the death of the God Emperor Worm. When he's basically had the breeding program for long enough to change humans.
when
So the
he's
shortening of the
killed
way is,
by the Gahola.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I guess
that was
that's
probably the nerdiest thing I've ever said, and that says a lot.
I think that actually does make sense. I could see that, because the whole idea of the Kwisatz Haderach and his offspring being the God Emperor and stuff is that it'll shorten, humanity's path through barbarism.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But Paul does a poor job at it. Paul just perpetuates barbarism.
Well, Paul cowered it out was the idea, was that he saw the horrific path he would have to take. He saw the jihad he would have to wage against humans, and
So
basically wussed out. And that's why he became blinded and, became this kind of half messiah. But, he
Mhm.
had all the properties of being, I think the idea is that's why they use jihad too, is that the idea is that Leto II is more the Muhammad, and, Paul is, not to say Christ failed, but the idea is that Christ kind of failed. Like, yeah, he was somebody with powers and had ability and had good messaging, but, we needed somebody better later.
So there's a YouTube comment from Dr. Peter Grover, a good friend of mine. He says bilocation is like having two screens for your computer, which, yeah, I guess basically it kind of is. It's kind of more like, how they have those remote presence robots that have like the little screen on them, and so you can sort of like move around and be in another place.
Yes, those.
Wait, who was that?
I have no idea.
Cool.
Was it
Somebody
ghost?
just spoke.
Did we have a ghost? We had a ghost.
Spooky shade of Hermanubis.
Oh,
Hi.
it's Wesley. Hey,
Wesley the
how's it
ghost?
going out there?
I'm good. I'm driving, but
That's what it
have
looks
you
like.
hands-free, so hi. So tune in. Going to Seattle. Got a ritual up there.
Nice. Is this
Are-
a Halloween ritual that you're going to?
It's one that I'm leading. Yeah.
Oh, what kind of Halloween ritual were you doing? Can you talk about it at all, or is it like secret rituals?
Yeah. So it's a sort of my own, as a sabbatic witch and PGM practitioner, how to sort of use and fuse some of those, but in a way to guide others on a ritual that has a sort of self-led element, but where they don't have to like use a script or anything. So it'll mostly be like a guided trance journey. Introducing elements of those in a sort of self-initiatory, group initiatory way, without, in a way that feels appropriate for sort of, I don't want to say non-practitioners, but more dabbling magical practitioners. So
Okay, I kind of
we'll be
followed
working.
that.
Yeah, it was kind of meandering. So basically, we're going to take some herbal sacraments, have a big altar,
There's
do
some chanting
all
of
the
barbarous
calling
names.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be using some of that for the exorcisms and the evocations of some deities, and then I'll take everyone on a trance underworld journey, connect with the dead, sort of die and be reborn, with that Celtic idea of Samhain, of being the gate, the death of the old year, and birth of the new. So
Well, that sounds pretty cool.
integration of shadow and light. Yeah.
It's a good,
Kind
it's a
of the
really
big-
good day for rituals, huh? I mean, we've got Samhain, we've got the full moon, we've got, my Venus
I know,
return.
a Taurus.
Oh,
Okay, that's a good one.
yeah, I know. It's been
Moon
an
and
exciting.
Taurus.
Yeah.
Venus and Libra.
I know.
Must be where those looks come from.
No, it's a costume.
Oh, okay. Are you like, what are you?
I'm an Umbreon. It's a Pokemon.
Yes, I guess it. Awesome.
It's a onesie.
I have a cool
These
flower
things are
crown.
incredibly uncomfortably warm. I don't know what onesies are
Oh,
made out
yeah.
of. It's some sort of weird fuzzy polyester, I think. I don't know. It's like I'm
Most
wrapped in
places
plastic.
Halloween is cold. Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm indoors. Well, Wes, I'm super glad that you're able to make it. I guess I should probably introduce you. Everybody, this is
Oh, hi.
Wesley. I have no idea how to say your last name. I've never heard it said out loud.
That's fine. Martusevich.
Martusevich. Oh, that sounds better.
Yes.
And
Polish.
he's in my Hermetic Lodge, Hermanubis Lodge. We do weird rituals in the park together.
Yay!
Awesome. I know. It's surprisingly, like, neighbors in the park are unperturbed. They just sort of like watch in mysterious awe.
It really, since we're doing this in Portland, it just makes me think that they just have seen weirder stuff, and they're probably just like, well, at least this group isn't sacrificing squirrels or whatever.
Or like dancing, like
Yeah.
dance. We don't generally wear outfits. So, I guess lacking outfits, we're not really drawing much of the public eye.
We should wear outfits.
Well, some of the rituals, say to be naked and just covered in a sheet. So we could try some of those. It is legal in Portland as long as no one is aroused. So given us, our general group, as long as you stay covered up, I think we'll be okay.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
For arousing anyone, that was my
right. Yeah,
I think attempt at flattery. Yes. I think the wording of the law is as long as not anyone is aroused or arousing anyone, which pretty much just lets them enforce it how they want to.
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends on how easily aroused the police are, probably.
Right. Yeah.
Well, so I'm gonna try to see if Charlie has a pumpkin to show us. Charlie, are you out there?
Yeah, yes. Hi.
Hi.
I did just finish carving a pumpkin. But first I want to let you know that I am dressed up.
Oh yeah.
I'm dressed as one of the scariest things this year, which is an anti-masker.
We call them rat lickers.
Yeah. I was hanging outside with my pumpkin, and then I came inside because it was getting dark, but I will show it to you. Let's see. Ooh, I can't tell where I'm pointing this.
Pumpkin with a cat nose.
It's a vampire cat with a mushroom nose.
It's sound effects.
Yes.
On point with the sound effects.
What?
So Charlie just finished publishing their tarot deck, which I have here.
Oh my.
It's very cool. This is the Fifth Spirit Tarot. Charlie, do you want to talk about it a little bit? Tell us.
Yes, one.
Oh, sure. I have not prepared anything to say, but yeah, it's a queer and inclusive deck. As a queer and non-binary person myself, I always I always found traditional sort of depictions of the human bodies in traditional tarot to be a bit limiting and narrow. And you like that devil card?
I really
Erik?
like the devil. Yeah.
And so one of the things I wanted to do was to be a bit to make a deck that was more inclusive of various gender identities, genders, also just body types, of course, races, abilities, things like that. And before I created this thing, I didn't think I could draw. I figured out how to draw while I was illustrating this deck. So
And
it's
you
been a
kind of-
pretty...
But you also you went beyond just drawing the cards, because you also made that awesome tea towel / spread cloth, and you designed the box, and the box is amazing. I mean, this is the bottom part of the box, but the top part of the box, look at this thing. It's cool.
Thanks.
So
yeah.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Just in time for Halloween.
Congratulations.
I yesterday
Thank you so much.
gave a reading to somebody with your deck. It was the first reading I'd given with the deck, and it was good. It was good. I liked it. There's
did you pull the tower?
I did not pull the tower. I did pull the devil. So
yes.
A good thing.
Yeah, I always feel like it's a good sign if you don't pull the tower on your first go around, though. I mean, as much as I enjoy that card. But it's interesting. I rarely do readings with decks that are new to me. I feel, I guess I'm not like a heavy duty collector like a lot of tarot people. So I usually just kind of get stuck with one deck, and then I just use that until something else comes along. So I'm gonna keep practicing. The Spirit Tarot.
That's a huge honor then, Erik, that you've branched out to give my deck a shot. I appreciate that.
I just want everybody else out there to realize that you can never be too old to change. Is that what I'm trying to say? That's what I'm trying to say. So did Aaron carve a pumpkin also?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So Aaron is he's on call for work, which means he's actually in the bedroom right now organizing people's COVID testing remotely.
Nice.
But we were hoping that he could, that's why I was outside at first, is because we were hoping he could find a break and come out and carve his pumpkin. And it will happen at some point. It might be midnight, but we'll get that second pumpkin carved.
Well, we'll have to check in later. And I'm super glad that you could join us. You were my you were one of a handful of special guests that I invited, and some of the other ones couldn't make it. But that's what happens. That's what you get lots of surprise guests.
Well, thanks, Erik.
So Alexx,
Hi.
how's it going?
It's going well. You were doing really well there. I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of weird having so many hosts.
Yeah, no, this is true. But I wanted to ask Charlie what she did with the court. What they did with the court. Sorry, Charlie. Sorry.
Oh, the
what
court
they did with the
cards.
court cards.
Yeah. Do you have a specific question, Alexx, or just in general what I did with them?
Oh no, I was just wondering if you kept, because they're soups gendered in the, the Rider-Waite-Smith version. I was wondering if you kept those. It's always vaguely uncomfortable, so I was just curious if we found a way around it.
Some of
yeah, thanks.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll find an example. Here is.
Yeah, I have.
Sorry,
can't really see it.
Can you see it now? So you can see it's. I guess this one isn't super gendered, but some of them are. Oh yeah, the King of Cups.
Oh, rad.
Oh yes.
Which is
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
So, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Charlie. Go for it.
But yeah, to answer your question, Alexx, there's lots of decks that have come out in recent years or the last decade about that have renamed the court cards. As I'm sure you're probably aware, they've chosen different non-gendered titles for the court cards. I decided to go about it in a different direction because I couldn't come up with anything better than what has already been done with the names, because there's great renamings out there. And so I decided to just queer the depiction, like queer the human bodies on many of the court cards, and retain the traditional titles of page, knight, queen, king, at least from the, Rider-Waite-Smith tradition, rather than the Toth tradition. But in order to sort of like push the boundaries of what we think of as queen or what we think of as king. So we can have a masculine presenting person as the queen. We can have like a feminine appearing person as the king. The problem with gender in the tarot and gender in general, as from my perspective, is that it's not the gendered titles, it's the fact that we associate various sort of attributes or personality types or qualities with genders. So we associate being nurturing as being a feminine thing. We associate being assertive as being a masculine thing, and so getting rid of just the gendered language, I think, is an important part of the process of sort of moving past this and evolving this, but we have to also go deeper than that. And so I don't think I succeeded at fixing all of it, but wanted to sort of chip away at it in my own little way.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, I just being an old man, those are so entrenched in my brain. So I love seeing the alternate takes on it, just kind of, or modern takes, whatever the phrasing you want to use. Yeah, it's well done. Double thumbs up.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll make sure
give thumbs up. Okay.
Someday later on, once I figure out how this YouTube thing works better, that there's a link to the Fifth Spirit Tarot in the video show note thingamajigs.
The video show note thingamajigs.
The spot that's like down below. You know how when you watch YouTube videos, they're always like pointing and they're like, click here to subscribe and click over.
I know what you mean.
The other thing.
There's just links to us right now.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what to put in there. I didn't know what we were going to talk about.
Okay.
So Alexx, do you usually just use the Thoth tarot, right?
Oh, I use whatever ones I'm in the mood for. Thoth and I are kind of in a fight at the moment, so I've been trying to get along with the Rider-Waite-Smith, and it's been challenging.
Yeah. I use that deck pretty frequently still. Like I still kind of go back to that as my default.
I bought my first Rider-Waite-Smith last year. Like I've been reading I started when I was 15. So how many years is that? 25 years ago? Like I've never wanted that deck, and every person uses it. So I'm like, oh, fine, I'll learn the fucking thing. The one I end up using a lot is the Kim Kranz deck, the Wild Unknown. It's so user friendly. It's just, I don't know, there's something about it that's just like when my brain's not working and I don't feel like being prophetic or remotely insightful, I break that deck out and I'm like, oh, you're talking to me. Oh, thank God someone's speaking.
That's such a popular deck right now. Like I'm not really sure, how did that get so popular?
It's really pretty. I mean, I think just the art in it's delightful. I mean, I don't know. The person behind it was in a band before, and I don't know if maybe that band was popular. I don't know anything about music, but yeah, Charlie is.
Her band's pretty popular.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's just the art. That's what turned on for me. I saw. I don't know where I was, but I saw somebody with one of the cards on a shirt. And I was like, oh, I'm a creep. What's your shirt? Let's talk about tarot. And yeah, it's. I think that's probably it. At least it was for me.
Well,
am I muted?
No.
No. But I can mute you from here. Do you want me to mute you? I'll mute you.
No. She had a shop in Portland for a couple years. Her band was pretty popular. She has a bunch of kids' books that are phenomenal. If anyone here has children,
oh, really?
I mean, I've like cried reading those books to my kids. So beautiful. Like, the kind of messages magical children should be receiving. She's all over the place.
So she's
as
a
far as a
Portland
creative.
person then.
Well, she lived in Portland for a while.
They
think.
were. I think they moved. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They
okay.
closed the Portland shop, or they sold it. They sold the shop, but the shop owners now are still really cool and carry a bunch of her stuff.
Yeah, now it's Psychic Sister. It's up on Alberta.
Oh, okay. I know about that place. I don't think I've ever been there.
Yeah.
It's a
It's a good shop. You should go. They carry
Well,
Fifth Spirit.
I don't.
Yeah.
They must be a good shop.
They have a cool class space that's huge, so potentially could be available for more socially distant stuff in the future. It's like massive warehousey feeling. So
I'll have to,
but
yeah,
nice.
I will check that out. I mean, I guess one of the things that stops me from getting up there right now is that I have no automobile, and TriMet is kind of, the public transit right now feels really weird.
Agreed.
Yeah, I would
And,
avoid that.
Yeah, and they changed the rules in public transit about a month or so ago. Or I have actually, time is so hard to keep track of that. I think it was about a month or so ago. But now they're only requiring 3 feet of social distancing on the bus instead of 6, and that feels weird.
Well, Eric, if you promise to hang your head out the window and I'll do the same, I'll drive you over to the tower shop if you want.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have some Halloween candy. My roommate picked up this Halloween candy, and it's supposedly in glow in the dark wrappers. I'm not really sure how to test that. I guess I can turn off all my lights.
Spooky.
You guys can talk amongst yourselves while I figure this out.
I have a glow in the dark Pez dispenser where you can. I'm not turning my lights off though. I couldn't find any Halloween decorations, so I found a pumpkin, and now I feel like a dork, but I feel like that's on brand.
Alex, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, please.
I would love to know more about like this sort of like Thoth and Rider-Waite Smith divide in the tarot world is like very, like, it definitely exists, and I'm always curious as to like what people's reasons are, because for me, I feel the same way as you do, but in reverse. I have a really hard time connecting with a Thoth deck. And Eric and I have talked about it before, and he suggested that maybe it has to do with the first deck you ever get and like sort of imprinting on it.
Yeah.
And my first deck was a Rider-Waite deck, but it sounds like yours was also a Rider-Waite deck, and yet you don't. Or
No,
maybe not your first. Was your first Rider-Waite?
No, my first deck was a Thoth deck. Actually, I still have it on the shelf.
Okay.
I mean, I got that in like 95-ish. But so the guy that I got turned on tarot with, we were into just weird, freaky shit when I was in high school, and I think he either was in doing the like Thelema thing at the time or it just started. But anyway, the point is, he got really geeky before I knew what any of it meant, of the depth of imagery in it. And he was like, oh, this symbol in the background here actually means this, and just the like, graduate level stuff when I don't know, the freshman stuff. And it blew my fucking mind. I was like, I can't believe this can be a real life thing. Like, this is like proper magic shit. And I got just hooked on it. I just thought the art of it was amazing. And Rider-Waite Smith got this like kind of, I mean, it's pretentious. It got in my head as like, that's like the normal kids tarot deck. That's what the regular people use. Yeah. And it took me a long time to get over that. And then I had a couple of bad experiences with just not like terrible people, but just kind of bad actors in the tarot community. And they always were Rider-Waite Smith people. And that's completely nonsense on my side. But, you develop these things. And last year I decided I'm going to buy that fucking deck and I'm going to learn it. And I'm still trying to make it do anything. It just kind of sits there. But I got 25 years of weirdness to overcome. So
I think you're right. I think from my observations, the like weirdest of the weird kids do prefer the Thoth deck, and the still weird but less weird perhaps kids like the Rider-Waite Smith. It's definitely more mainstream for sure.
Charlie, are you trying to say that you and I are way more mainstream than Alex?
I'm trying to say that I was socialized in Alabama, and the Thoth deck was just like a little bit too intense for me as a teenage goth in that environment.
Yeah, Rider Smith is radical as fuck in Alabama. You know,
It is.
I grew up right outside of Manhattan, so like there was nothing weird enough. You know,
I guess for me, I don't know the first time I even saw the Thoth deck or became aware of it. Like I was my first tarot deck was the Alice in Wonderland tarot, which was basically like the Rider-Waite-Smith with Alice in Wonderland characters.
Oh, that's adorable. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I at some point I was like, oh, I can sell this on eBay for $150, so I did. But I don't even remember the first time I got exposed to the Thoth tarot or became aware of it. But by that time, I was already pretty well entrenched. You know.
You've got that. You're such a nerd about this stuff. That's why I kept trying to talk you. That's why I made you do the tarot reading the one time on my show. Was, you know, the depth of weirdness in that deck. I was like, Erik, this is for you. This is your magical nerddom. You should spend the rest of your life studying this thing.
And now I've done a full 3, maybe 4 readings with the Thoth tarot.
Oh, I'm a proud poppy.
Wow. I learned on Rider-Waite, which you know, in a very kind of specific system that gave me a great foundation. Mm-hmm. But then trying to bridge over to Thoth was like, wait, but this is not what it's supposed to mean. But I've had a pretty good harmonizing. I tend to bounce back and forth between either Thoth derivatives or Rider-Waite derivatives and kind of have inflated meanings in my own head and just kind of look for where the cards go, you know, in the reading to decide, you know, what, for instance, like, the 4 of Pentacles, you know, which has a little differing meanings, you know, means, and depends on the deck. But maybe I'm just like polyamorous in most areas of my life, so it seems to extend to Thoth or to tarot decks as well.
You're polytaroist?
Yeah. I love the Hermetic tarot though. I picked it up years ago, kind of like played around with it. Set it aside, got really into it, set it aside, revisited lately, and it's just like been nailing every reading. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna this one on hand.
I have mixed feelings about the Hermetic tarot. There's some weird Hebrew in there from time to time that kind of throws me off.
Yeah.
And the cards are so busy. There's so much going on in them. But you know, it's been a long time since I've spent very much time with that deck. I should pull it out.
You know, the card titles. Which I'm trying to remember how much of it is based on the Book of Tea or not, because it's, you know, a Thoth derivative, Golden Dawn based.
Yeah, because because the Thoth tarot uses the same titles as the Golden Dawn, right? Or really close to them.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he switched up some of the major arcana. I think he switched up some of the order in that, but pretty much it's that.
Yeah, right, because Zadi is the star or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whatever. The Hermetic tarot all have these sub names though for like all the court cards.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I think I've seen that in BOTA stuff.
Yeah, because it's, you know, it's kind of Golden Dawn based, but then they kind of are eclectic in what they choose to draw upon. Which, you know, if I were like super into studying the detail of the symbolism of, you know, of every aspect of the artwork of the cards, then I might, you know, have more qualms with it. It just seems to deliver as far as readings. And maybe that's partially the effectiveness of the invocation I did over the cards when I got them, as opposed to more lax ones later in life. I don't know, but it just seems to work for me.
So for the people that are watching here, this is the Hermetic tarot. That's the Fool right there.
Oh, yeah, it's the black and white line.
Yeah, and then on the bottom shows like the Spirit of Ether. So all the cards have like the secondary kind of description on it. I have no idea how much you can see, but there, look, holding it up for you.
Yeah, thank you.
I had it on the shelf within arm's reach, and I'm not that lazy.
Yeah, I don't know where my Hermetic tarot is. I put a bunch of decks in a box, and I put that box in the closet, and that closet is kind of behind stuff. So, Alex, you going to be doing any weird rituals tonight?
I was thinking about it. I'm not entirely sure yet. You and I were talking about doing some. Well, you were recommending I do like a Venus thing, for dawn, but I was tired, so I didn't do it. So I'm gonna. That's dawn adjacent.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I miss. I enjoyed our previous Halloween excursions where we went and summoned cartoon demons. That was always fun.
Yeah, no cartoon demon summoning. I felt like doing it over Zoom just as it felt inauthentic, which is the dumbest thing in the universe to ever say, considering we're talking about summoning a cartoon demon. But I was like, no, I think we need to be in person for that to work.
Yeah, I feel like those episodes, we might have had way more fun making them than the listeners have listening to them. But
I've gotten a lot of good reviews about that one. The Hunts and Avideer one, I've had a lot of people comment on how they think that's one of the weirder things they've heard on a podcast.
That one was really gross. The bug milk.
Yeah, that's true. I found the grinder I used to grind up the bugs. I still had it in my kitchen.
Ugh. I mean, what are you going to do with it? What else are you going to use that thing for? More bugs?
I just had in the back of my head that at some point in my life, I got to the point that I'm grinding up bugs with my friend to perform a ritual in a park. There's a chance I'm going to need to grind up other weird things in the future, so I might as well keep my weird thing grinder.
Yeah. I have a mortar and pestle that's only for noxious, non-consumable substances.
Non-edibles.
Stuff.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Don't want to mix that.
I have a hand coffee
The
grinder.
gross stuff mortar.
Yeah.
Oh, the coffee grinder, nice.
Yeah, I don't know if I could have ground up bugs in a mortar and pestle. That would have. It was gross enough just doing it with the hand crank coffee grinder.
At least they were dried bugs.
It's true. They were dried bugs. It was still
Yeah.
gross. I'm glad we didn't drink that milk.
I don't think that was not. I don't think that was ever on the plan. In the plan.
If we were on video, and I
go
was
back listen to
sure.
So Charlie, what about you? You're going to be doing any weird rituals later?
I was going to do a little something for two of my ancestors that passed this year. Since Samhain is when we honor the dead.
Right.
But not anything, not prancing naked in a park or grinding up bugs. Or just like a quiet little thing, sort of a mix of like an ancestor altar and then like a tarot spread that I have for that purpose. So something simple.
Nice. That sounds good. I was going to go try to convince one of my friends to have a bonfire in their backyard, but then I just realized it's just such a, doing this and then trying to get to the other side of Portland to burn stuff just seemed like a little bit too much work. So.
Oh, if anyone can look toward the east, the moon's a bit above tree height and insanely gorgeous. Oh, so huge.
I don't think I can look out the window right now. But I will check it out.
Yeah, of course. I got that big
Last
glow
night,
on the horizon.
my mom and I were.
Jack-o'-lantern.
Oh. What was that, Charlie?
Ooh. Oh, I was just going to say last night, my mom and I were talking on the phone and saw the moon at the same time, and then immediately broke into the song from An American Tale.
Somewhere
one about looking at the moon at the same time. I'm not going to sing it.
Somewhere else.
Please.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, it was nice.
I don't think I know that song. What's it called?
Do you know the film? It's an animated film about a mouse that travels, immigrates to America.
Yeah, I'm aware of its existence. I just don't think I've seen it.
The song's called Somewhere Out There.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I know that song.
I'm not going to sing it either, but
I'm not going to sing it either.
We could all sing it together.
Oh, I will. Yeah.
I'm sure that timing will really work well over there. somewhere.
All right, everyone, come on.
What is it like? I don't know any of the words.
A
I
1,
only know
a 2,
somewhere
a
out there.
3.
But do we have to sing it in like a
that's
squeaky
amazing.
mouse voice? That's the thing.
Oh yeah, my voice
There-
does.
yes.
man.
Well, maybe
So-
you can be a mouse that's this long-term smoker, Eric. Just do the gravelly mouse voice.
Old Grandpa Mouse.
The Tom Waits mouse.
I mean, I am
Yes.
dressed as I think I am dressed as like one of the mouse Nope, never mind.
Yeah.
No, I
Think
don't
so.
think
Pokemouse.
the Umbreon isn't a mouse Pokemon. It's like some sort
More
of
like a fox.
I don't think it's a fox either. Isn't it some sort of like demon leopard?
Ooh.
Yeah, but doesn't it evolve
That's
from
awesome.
a face that looks like a fox?
It evolves from an Eevee,
Yeah, Eevee's kind of fox looking, isn't it?
I guess maybe.
I don't know what a fox looks like. I'm
Or
gonna be honest.
cat? No, not cat. Never mind. Fox, yeah.
I just think that they probably just designed the Eevee to just be like really cute looking.
Successful.
Yeah, I'm okay. I've been wearing this hood for long enough. I have to. Oh man, it's so hot in there. All right,
Polyester.
free. All right. Well, let's see. I think we should probably see if. I mean, we don't have any other special guests. You guys are the special guests, unless Matt wants to talk. Matt, are you paying attention out there? It's hard to tell. He's
myself.
So how about trick-or-treaters? Have you guys gotten any trick-or-treaters?
Matt is having mic problems according to the chat,
Oh, okay.
and also to the chat. Hello, Michelle.
Oh, who's Michelle?
Someone now I'm friends with.
Oh, hi,
I just
Michelle.
I didn't know how to pronounce her last name, so I just went with Michelle.
Well, that's cool. So,
Yay.
Alex,
Wait, is Eric frozen? Oh no.
no,
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
frozen. I was just
Oh.
sort of like, I
You're
got
just
into one
very
of those.
still.
You ever have those times when when you're podcasting and you're kind of like, oh crap, I totally had something to talk about next, but you kind of start to lose it and it's gone. And
You
then you're
asked
sort of
about trick-or-treaters.
oh yeah. So have you guys had any trick-or-treaters?
I haven't had trick-or-treaters, but on my way back from the grocery store, I got caught in a neighborhood Halloween parade because like just an impromptu, just like lots of children wearing masks and like their
Mhm.
parents, and then some like teenagers as well. But just this like lovely, probably like, I don't know, 60 people, just little parade walking down the street in Sunnyside. So that was
Sounds-
lovely.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually, where I'm living now, I've never had a trick-or-treater, which I'm okay with. I still get the candy.
Yeah, I live in
I
a
just
an
keep it
apartment.
for myself.
If any kid showed up to my door, it'd be very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Oh.
your door is obscure and difficult to find.
Yeah, my door is obscure. It's in the back of a house and leads to a basement apartment. Like that child's parents have severe issues.
Those are kids looking to be in a horror movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, there's a basement door. Let's knock on that.
I live in a 55 plus active living community, so no, we don't get any trick-or-treaters.
At what age? At what age does it stop being okay for a person to go door to door asking for candy? Like when are we supposed to stop?
I did it into college because I have a little brother who's 13 years younger than me. And so I would just like take him along with me, and he was like an adorable, like 7-year-old or 6-year-old. And I'd also be like, hi, I'm 20, give me candy. But it was acceptable because of my
You had a
brother,
kid.
the Halloween prop.
So basically, if you
Halloween
have
prep.
if you have a child, you get to go trick or treating forever.
Yes. Number
Yeah.
one reason to
I take
procreate.
candy sometimes with my kid. Yeah. Taking my kid
Well-
tomorrow. So
For trick or treating?
so her mom's synagogue did this thing where like people signed up, and there's going to be like specific houses that have like tables at the end of their driveway with named bags of candy, so we don't like interact with other people's bags. Her mom's very COVID conscious.
Okay.
So
Well,
we are
that
going
sounds-
to, yeah. Then we
That's
just
cool.
pick up the bags of candy that are designated for her from specific houses. But we get to walk around in
Mhm.
costume, see other people in costume, and like, you know, safe distance, but get to have the experience. So I'm happy for her.
You gonna wear a costume, Wes?
I'm going to be Dr. Faust.
Ooh,
Basically just means, you know,
you just
yeah,
Renaissance.
cool Renaissance-y outfits. Yeah, and you know, a big black book. You know, a shiny dark amulet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I feel like it could use another finishing touch, but I don't know what that is yet.
Just
Maybe some-
rub yourself with sulfur, so you have like that brimstone smell.
Oh, perfect.
Or like a,
Thank
a,
you.
a quill and parchment and just keep signing contracts with everyone.
Oh yeah.
I was
collect
once a
souls.
17th century devil, and I had a black leather-bound book and a feather, and then also a pen, you know, because I wasn't like carrying around a pot of ink. But I had people in my 17th century devil costume sign their souls over to the devil. I was like his messenger, emissary, you know, secretary, essentially.
So
Have
you
people
got-
sign, and
That's excellent. So
yeah,
you
I
have a-
got
you have a
I got
collection.
some signatures. Yeah, you know, I wish I'd kept it going. I think I still have that book somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually possible to sign over a soul, but I guess you know, at least you tried.
Oh, well, it's definitely currency in the other realms for sure. So I guess I'm sitting on, you know, a fair little stash bank, possibly. I need to get them legally verified, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't a notary at the time, so maybe it didn't count.
You didn't have the
Infernal notary.
yeah, you have to keep your registration up to date for that, I think.
Yeah, it was before I was a witch, so
Well,
at least consciously.
well,
Thanks.
I guess
Now I know.
How long do people usually live stream for? Like, are we supposed to keep going until like somebody dies, or
Midnight.
what's?
On Halloween,
that
that is
happens
traditional.
on Twitch.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, fine, I'll kill myself.
Thank you. Yeah, this is really dragging on.
Right. Well, I was thinking we could probably
Finally.
wrap it up pretty soon, because we have been live streaming for a little over an hour, and it's not like we're gonna Joe Rogan it or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm not nearly right wing enough for that.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about your websites and stuff? I guess we should have Charlie go first. Charlie, tell the internet where to find you.
Sure. You can find me at my website, thewordwitchtarot.com, or at the website for my deck, which is fifthspirittarot.com. I'm most active on Instagram at the.word.witch. And I have a podcast also called The Word Witch as well. And it's on hiatus right now as I'm like frantically finishing and the deck is finished, but mailing them out. I will not show you my apartment full of boxes right now, but that one, the podcast should come back pretty soon. So
I'm wondering,
Ooh.
did you get a label printing machine or anything like that?
oh yes, I did.
Oh,
Yes.
good. I don't ship too many things, so I just print them and cut the labels out and tape everything manually. But
That's
I
that is
do-
also what I did before I had 650 orders to mail.
yeah, that's a lot. That's a
Man,
lot.
good job though. 650, nice.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's
Impressive.
Yeah.
How many stores is the deck in?
Right now, it's presently at Seeker Ape and Psychic Sister. I just dropped some off to them yesterday. In Canada, it's at The Witch's Fix which is a lovely little shop in Hamilton, Ontario. It's sort of near Toronto, as according to Google Maps. I don't know. I've never been to that area. I wish one day. It's also at Little Red Taro in the UK. So for folks in
you're like
the UK and Europe
now.
Not quite. It's at a shop called De Alchemista in the Netherlands. And it's going to be at Woo PDX as well, and at Circle of Stitches in Salem, Massachusetts, and the 8th House in New Jersey. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. It is really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like a rock star.
Yeah, I feel like we are in the presence of a rock star. So well done.
Thanks so much.
So, Alex, you want to? It's hard to follow Charlie, but I guess it's your turn to plug your.
Yeah, I had a book in a store once.
2 books
at a library. That's about it. Yeah, it's not nearly as impressive. I sold my soul to some guy walking around in a costume once. Yeah, Alexxcast.com, alexxbollen.com. Everybody knows where to find me. I think this is going to be in my feed too, so whatever.
Yeah, and I guess people will. You're already watching this on YouTube or listening to it on my feed, so you already know where to find me also. But I guess you're still supposed to tell people to subscribe and stuff, right? So click on things and subscribe to stuff.
You're supposed to say smash that like button.
Be sure to like and
subscribe.
Oh yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. That's what you're supposed to say. I've watched some YouTube before. But I guess that's it. I'll make a sound effect, and then we can just sort of sign off. I'll use the spooky bells.
There's a house on my street that's playing that outside constantly.
Are you kidding?
I kind of love it. It's interspersed with howls and such. So
yeah.
I'm into it. Everybody else is annoyed.
It's a great spooky. Robbie said, by the way, we do have some people who are talking a little bit in the live chat, and he says,
"Oh, I forgot about the live chat. Sorry."
Took his 2-year-old trick or treating and kept all the candy for himself. That sounds good. All right, everybody, thank you for coming. I'm going to stop the live stream now and stuff. So